was an Englishman, an Irishman, and a Jamaican. No joke. Why was 6 afraid of 7? No jokes. A horse walks into a bar. No jokes. Knock. Who's there? Hashtag who? Hashtag no jokes. Look, he's finally got it sorted. They're on sale. $17.99. Get your t-shirts. Support the cause. No joke. Hashtag no joke. They come in large, medium and small. And extra small. Just for me and Curtis. But they do not come in short sizes. Short people, I forget, short clothes.
Bringing us together. Hashtag no jokes.
Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes.
Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes.
Sicker than your average podcast.
Sicker than your average podcast.
We get to write history. We get to tell our story as opposed to somebody writes their version of the truth. So I wanted to write my story, and I wanted to challenge myself to see if I could do it, to write my own book, because that was the biggest thing for me to do, was to be able to say I'm a writer, especially with my relationship with books.
I dare you to find someone better. I bet that you could never. Facebook and YouTube, they're coming through. Weekly topics on the news, Sundays 1 to 2, and you can chime in if you've got something to say. From the 3 best comedians in the UK, they've all got knowledge by the boatload. They shake it up and make it nice like a snow globe. Not in your post.
I get it. I just get it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not going to buy into the narrative. I think when you're under your liquors and your friends, and I'm assuming she's got black friends around her, it's a look she went through. I think it's appreciation. I think it was Carnival weekend that weekend, by the way, or would have been. And I think she's celebrating. I don't see her as an insult at all.
He's worshipped a wordsmith. When it comes to real talk, they're all my first pick. You heard it. They're so good together, whatever the weather. I dare you to find someone better. I bet that you could never. Facebook and YouTube, they're coming through. Weekly topics on the news, Sundays 1 to 2, and you can chime in if you've got something to say. From the 3 best comedians in the UK, they've all got knowledge by the boatload. They shake it up and make it nice like a snow globe. Not in your postcode.
Appreciation or appreciation? The problem that we have is appreciation. The problem that we have with this is the press jumping on it to give her all. Every press was on this. Everybody was talking about it. Now, what we're saying about appropriation, if a black woman did that, put on those garments, did that with her hair, no press. The point I'm trying to make is that we don't get that press when we do our things for ourselves. And that is where the appropriation comes into play. When she does it, big press. When we do it, no big deal.
I dare you to find someone better. I bet that you could never. Facebook and YouTube, they're coming through. Weekly topics on the news, Sundays 1 to 2, and you can chime in if you've got something to say. From the 3 best comedians in the UK, they've all got knowledge by the boatload. They shake it up and make it nice like a snow globe. Not in your postcode.
Barber, he's stylist, he's agent, he's manager, he's doctors, he's nurses, he's pharmacist, he's accountant, he's banker, he's pastor, he's church, and Hollywood Marvel clearly all knew what we didn't. And that brother had a circle of people around him who respected it enough to keep that private. That's phenomenal.
I told you he's the best. Angie they'll go far because she's a superstar. And Curtis, he's worshipped a wordsmith. When it comes to real talk, they're all my first pick. You heard it. They're so good together, whatever the weather. I dare you to find someone better. I bet that you could never. Facebook and YouTube, they're coming through. Weekly topics on the news, Sundays 1 to 2, and you can chime in if you've got something to say. From the 3 best comedians in the UK, they've all got knowledge by the boatload. They shake it up and make it nice like a snow globe. Not in your postcode, they still feel a stone's throw. Bringing us together. Hashtag no jokes.
Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes.
Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes.
Sicker than your average podcast.
Sicker than your average podcast. Sicker than your average podcast. Trying to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nestor, I told you he's the best. Angie they'll go far because she's a superstar. And Curtis, he's worshipped a wordsmith. When it comes to real talk, they're all my first pick. You heard it. They're so good together, whatever the weather. I dare you to find someone better. I bet that you could never. Facebook and YouTube, they're coming through. Weekly topics on the news, Sundays 1 to 2, and you can chime in if you've got something to say. From the 3 best comedians in the UK, they've all got knowledge by the boatload. They shake it up and make it nice like a snow globe. Not in your postcode, they still feel a stone's throw. Bringing us together. Hashtag no jokes.
Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes.
Afternoon to you. Special mention there, of course, for Stephen Lawrence. It would have been his birthday today. That's a date I don't want to forget. There's some other notable passings. Cool and the gang, Toots and the Maytel won't be the same again. And it was the 19th anniversary of the September the 11th bombings as well. So we got lots. To be honest with you, never has there been a week when we've been doing this when there have been more stories to talk about. There are so many stories. I can't control these two errant children. Last week, I had the bell. This week, I draw for the horn. I'm going to try to control them because I really do want to get through. But also what your comments. It's really important that you say what you need to say. We read them during the show, after the show. The boss comes on and the boss reads about them. I did see that T-shirt said £15. It's £17.95 because it includes posting and packaging. And if you waited for me to do it with the queues at the post office, you'd be waiting a long time. So I've got mine on. Let's bring in the team, shall we? The Ace team, or as I'm told, it has to now be called the Lace team. Can't think why that is. Greetings to you, Angie.
Greetings to you, Eddie. How you doing, sir?
I'm all right. Did you pray? I see you put up on Facebook. You're going to church to pray for me and Curtis. I can be saved. Curtis can't be saved.
This I know for sure.
This I know for sure.
Greetings to you, brother man. Now I don't want any fighting between you two. I gave Angie a T-shirt. I gave Curtis a T-shirt. Curtis took Angie's T-shirt, and now Angie doesn't want the T-shirt that Curtis had. Is that my? Have I got a correct understanding?
Let me explain first. Good afternoon to everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad that he's showing off my T-shirt. But this is what happened. We were filming with Mo Gilligan this week at Hackney Empire for a show that's coming out on Channel 4. Curtis was wearing the white T-shirt. You gave me the black T-shirt. I had it in my bag going home. Curtis says, Angie, I don't want to wear the white T-shirt. Can I wear your T-shirt? Then I can go back and then give it back to you in the week.
Okay, well, the week ain't come yet, clearly.
I was even going to go to see him last night to get my T-shirt. What did he say? I'm not coming home till late. That's what you said, Curtis.
I don't think he came home. Angie, I don't think he came home at all, but we're going to leave that one there.
Right there.
Okay. So, look, let me just change up the rules a bit. I've just spent my whole time telling the boss the order that we're going to go in, and I'm going to change them. I think that we've got the first mogul of No Joke T-shirt. And it's a grandmother.
Wow.
She has bought the T-shirt. Let's get that T-shirt up, boss lady, please, if you don't mind. There you go. Yeah. Ida bought her T-shirt. It's coming. They're taking two T-shirts and stitching them together for her husband, Andy, and then he'll have his T-shirt. So there you go. Angie, you got to fix up a book and send it to her, yeah?
Okay, let me that's what we do.
That's what we do there. So look, like always, Angie, you kind of mess up my run-ins because you mentioned Mo Gilligan and where we all were this week. There's some tough stories this week, so let me start on a note of positivity. We went to the Hackney Empire. Mo Gilligan, the BAFTA award-winning young comedian, assembled people that had inspired him, and all three of us were there. Curtis wasn't there really, but Angie and I were in the seat of it. Curtis was kind of on the outside. No, we were all there.
Story of my life, man.
Curtis, let me start with you. Wasn't that like so beautiful to be in an environment with those young people who are all far more successful than we will ever be?
It was absolutely. You started with me.
Yes.
Oh, that's a rarity. Hello. Oh yeah. I just want to a big shout out to all of the comedians. And what was so beautiful, that wasn't in the bit that you guys did with the interviewing, actually being on the sidelines and watching it. I wish I brought my camera with me because the power of just you guys sitting in the stalls at the Hackney Empire, which for a lot of us is a kind of home for what we do. And audiences for years have been going down to Hackney. So it felt right. Big shout out to Mo. He's on his train, he's on his journey, and he is, Angie and Eddie, paying homage to you older heads. You know, and that's important.
And that was what was really great about the whole event. It was just sitting there talking about how we started to the next generation, to the furthering generation of Black comedians, and really being able to sit down for the first time and talk. And you know what was really great? You know, when we talk about the history of Black comedy, there's one person that doesn't always get the props all the time, and it's John Simmet.
He did. He got a lot of props.
He sure got props that day. My word, his ears must have been ringing.
He deserves
It's a good thing he's in a lockdown in Erdington in Birmingham.
Yeah.
So that otherwise he'd be on a train. Ed. So leave him down there in Birmingham.
Yeah, I think he would have preferred to have been sitting down with you lot. But I don't think they do subtitles, so it's best he stays home.
Listen, we'll talk about, I mean, I think they're going to form the theme of our show today, young people, because they, with all due respect to us three, we talk a lot about what we can't do, what we couldn't do. They didn't do that. In that conversation, they talked about what they could do, what they were doing, and what they were about to do. And they had absolutely, I absolutely applaud them.
And I hope in 20 years' time, they're not sounding like us.
Sounded like you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me.
That was interesting because when Angie told the story about getting paid in food for a gig, and it's a good thing. It wasn't in his consciousness at all. It just was beyond him, which means that there's a kind of normality, which is not his story, which I'm happy that Angie.
But I think what you'll find with a lot of young people, the money is, we didn't grow up with that as the motivation. It was about doing what we do because we loved it, which I'm sure they all do. But it was about getting time on stage. I think for myself anyway, it was about getting time on stage and becoming more confident with that presence on stage. And the monetary thing, and you'll find this, and I say this as a parent as well, their understanding of money is far superior to I ever was at that age. You know, it was just something you earned, but it wasn't, you know, you didn't. But now they know their worth and they know their value, and that is so beautiful, man. It really is.
I think also as well, what we were doing, we were creating. We didn't know what we were doing. We were creating a space for Black comedy, which was going into the blues dances, going into the fashion shows like the Podiums, Shanolas, and all those places and saying, can I have 5 minutes on the mic?
My mum used to take me there, Podium. My mum used to take me down there.
I was doing Podium and just having a great time. The audience were
Shanolas has a lot to account for. That's where I met the boss lady.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Look at that.
Never been back there. Glad when they knocked that place down. Listen, let's get to...
So why are you watching her school play?
Step away from the car, Kurt. There's a lot to talk about today, right? I'm going to try and mix it up. The most stories, and you know what the wonderful thing is that people are sending, I know they're sending to you, Curtis, and you, Angie. They are sending stories. They are telling us the sorts of things they want us to discuss. Before we finish the series, we will do what it's like to be mixed race. Before we finish this series, we will do Black children, mixed race children in foster, and we will do wills. Those things have come at me a lot, and I promise we'll fit them in. But not today. Today's a kind of day. Look, I want to start 15,500 complaints. I watched it this morning with the whole family. I was ordered by the big boss not to just talk about something that you haven't seen. It makes you like all those other people. So I watched it. And I thought of you, Curtis, and I'll tell you why in a little while. Here is the thing that's the second most complained about thing on ITV. Let's go.
Another disease. Deep-rooted in our system, fear, hate and ignorance, but racism was the symptom. As the world watched on, another black life gone, leaving what we thought we knew in tatters. What we thought we knew, some clearly didn't. Black lives matter.
So,
well, are you scared to show all of it, Ed?
Well, we ain't got enough time to do what we got to do.
2 minutes of our lives.
People can find it. I've still got a feature Stormzy superhero. There's a lot happening this week, Curtis. Okay, don't make me give you a yellow card already. Angie,
blow your horn, man. Blow your horn.
Yes.
What did you think? And was a Sunday, Friday, whatever night it comes on, because I don't watch Britain's Got Talent, but
Saturday.
whatever night it comes on, was that the right place to show a politically charged thing like this?
Absolutely. I think what Diversity did on Saturday night on Britain's Got Talent was awesome. It was powerful. I mean, I sat back just emotional, just thinking, look what they have told, the story that they have told in dance. From the heart. It was so powerful. And so I know for a fact that they wouldn't be able to have done that dance without passing it through TV, ITV, the top commissioners. They wouldn't be able to do that. That's not something that the ITV didn't know that they were doing. It was well called for. You need an audience if you've got the position of power and the stage, use your power to tell the story. I thought it was powerful. And all those complaints, that's complete right wing. Those are the racist people surging, coming together to say, let's deliberately go out and complain to Ofcom. That's why it's so high. Half the people that probably saw a complaining to Ofcom didn't even watch it. They just know right now they're rallying their troops to say, come, let's go, let's complain, let's make it a big thing. And I don't think ITV should back down on this and apologize. And I'm behind Alicia Dixon right there. I'm behind.
Alicia first said, if you don't like it, you can kiss my black ass. And then the second thing she said was that if they are forced to apologize, she will step down from the show. Curtis, you're sitting down. You're in Middle England, and you know that term because it's been used as a weapon against you and me more times than I care to mention. Why do you have to have the killing of a man thrust upon you? It is art, but why is it okay if you think it's okay?
I tell you what, it's interesting how they've used the time of day or the primetime TV as the ammunition to beat them down with. It's part of the symptom of, for me anyway, Black Lives Matter and this empowerment I've personally been feeling during lockdown after the murdering of George Floyd and that enough is enough kind of feeling I've had resonates with me. But for Middle England, what feels like a second to me feels like, oh, come on, guys, let it go now. You've had enough. It's all, oh, why are they getting all that? I remember watching the same GMTV in the morning and there were three black presenters on the screen at one time at 7 a.m. in the morning. And I was like, wow, this is having an effect. This is having a powerful effect. Now, Middle England watched that and they think, my God, they're taking over. They're everywhere. And they've watched Diversity, a group they felt they kind of loved and understood, but they don't understand why they're not happy with the lot they've been given. You've been very successful. We've made you successful.
But that's our fault and our parents' fault.
What way?
Because
no, that's Middle England are saying that.
I understand.
Well, let me finish your theory.
Yeah.
Please,
I'm trying to feed into what you say, so it's not just a monologue; it's a dialogue, which means means there.
You say you got talk for me, but you ain't got talk for Angie.
Well, I'm waiting for her. She's the reason I bought the horn.
All right, good. Anyway, I'm very proud of them. As an older head, like I said to a lot of the guys that have spoken out, John Boyega, just know there is a storm coming. And I hope you've got everything you locked down and understand it. And I know there's a campaign now to kind of outdo the complaints with more positive energy. I just don't understand why they don't want young people who are the future, who are going to deal with this racism and the country that we're living in and the imbalance in our country. They're the ones that are going to make the change. Every complaint was by somebody over 50, I'm guaranteeing you, somebody who's stuck in their ways, but their children, perfect time of day to hit them. And
Also,
they
as
won't
well,
get it as hostile as their parents are getting.
also, as well,
They
you've
will
got to
see
remember is that
heroes of theirs dancing and making a point. And
you've
it's
got
the change that is needed in our society, black,
you've also,
white, indifferent. That's
you've
the
also,
change that's needed for our young people to see something is going on. Something
you,
needs to change. And
you've
it's
also,
your future.
oh Lord,
Perfect place to do it.
you've also got to remember that diversity, the show that they won that competition was on that show. So that would be the show that they would do it on. He's a judge on that show. There was no other platform for him. So I don't understand why they would complain about the time. That was the time. He's on that show. He won on that show. It makes sense.
Yeah.
So, in the spirit of diversifying
Of
thought
course.
and content, what about the idea? And the same thing with the N-word, the same thing with sexual content, and I hear the same thing with issues to do with religion and sexuality. That as a parent, I have a duty and the right to decide if and when the right time is appropriate to have that kind of conversation. If you put a warning on it, I have a chance.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't feel it was the right time for my 6-year-old who loves that show to do it. Do you? Because the reason
I concur with that. I agree with that. If you are doing that, and it's dance. They put a poem to it. The lyrics and it's art. And I know I kind of agree with that on a level. If you'd put up a warning, maybe that would have been more advisable. I agree with that. But the outcry, the hostility, I've read some of the stuff that people are writing. Oh my word! I don't know that kind of dialogue. It's an English country, it's a white country. If you don't like it, get out. Was one of the ones I read this morning. Like,
yeah,
really?
and there's a really interesting Jamaican woman who's put up a GoFundMe page that says, if you don't like me, you want me to go here, here's the GoFundMe page, give me the money and I'll go, which I think is fascinating. There's a lot on this because it's about, when you look at the makeup of diversity, they're black, white, a lot of mixed race people. It's art. I thought it was one of the most fantastic things that I personally have seen. Curtis, this question directly to you. I've never told you this and I've always wanted to tell you this. What you did in the opening ceremony for the 2012 Olympic Games, I am so proud of you. I have never told you, and I apologize for not telling you. I watched it today. I wonder, right? Because you were with Paul and you were with Danny, right? Would that so Olympic ceremony is happening 2024. Let's make it up like that. So you have to tell the British story. Might a dance like that have made it, do you think, onto the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games?
In 2012, probably not. But if you look at the opening ceremony, there are bits in there about race, about us living better together. There were hints at that and came from Danny Boyle and Paul at Randall. They put in to some of the scenes that were happening around a lot of what I would have called empowering material, but it wasn't as relevant because we haven't had this amount of attention, this amount of protest, this amount of empowerment. And if you listen to there's a show went on with the Banjo family telling I nearly broke my heart, telling a story about when they were going for auditions. And their father was instrumental, black man, instrumental in creating the dances, in creating the sales pitch of the boys. But they would send their mother, white woman, into the meetings and they would wait in the car. They would rehearse her because she wasn't a natural speaker. She got a bit nervous in front of people and they had to rehearse her. Do like this, mum. What are you going to say, mum? Read this, mum. Learn these lines, mum. And that was their journey as young men. I just thought, I totally understand why they felt they had to get that dance across, and all credit to them. And they got to know that although you're saying, they're saying 15,000, 10,000 complaints, there are millions of people in Britain who support what you did. And it's for us and those people to give them all the support we can. And if you've got them on your Facebook page, and even if you've never, like myself, watched Britain's Got Talent in any kind of serious way, please show them some love. Show them some love because it's really hurting them.
Curtis, hold on. Let me stop you because I want to bring in Angie. But as I said, there's a theme to today. So we talked a lot about Banjo. He put a tweet up this week that caught my attention. Angie, I'd like to get your thoughts on it. Let's put it up on the screen and then we'll read it, shall we? So here's what Ashley Banjo put up. It's called the cancel culture. And here's where they, I think, try to stop us from saying what we're going to say. Let's see if we can get the boss to put that up on the screen, right? So, Sarah, like always, in the way. Dear Joshua, Hamilton, Banjo, and any other black public figures, we, the great British public, will only support you if you entertain us and do not say anything about racism. Thank you for your understanding. Now, the thing about that is, certainly the media mafia is the owner who has helped us a lot with the show, who is not black, has been in my ear about talking about the cancel culture. I've looked at people like Stella Creasy, Diane Abbott, Dawn Butler. I look at people's pages, and I had it myself this week. It's almost as though you must talk, but if you make me feel uncomfortable or you talk your truth, then I will attack you. Not what you're saying, but attack you. We've got a little bit more of that in a little while with Marcus Rashford. But Angie, the cancel culture, tell me what you know about that.
Well, honestly, to be honest, sometimes when we think about what people are going to say, they're going to react. They're going to be upset. They're going to want to put us in our place and tell us to behave ourselves. That's not new. So we got to be prepared for people who are going to dog whistle their community, their racist community, to say, listen, if we jump on that, we'll look like we're really against
What's
this.
new, Angie, is that you are saying a lot more and you don't care about making people uncomfortable. Curtis has talked about his change, but if I'm honest, we've all changed, haven't we?
We've all changed, but we changed from a long time. All it is that you're seeing our change. We've been going through this process for a long time. We've been having to fight this war for a long time. And we've been having to go without, not say, talk to people who we can talk to. Now that we can speak, people who want a warning, George Floyd didn't get a warning. When it was on the news and we were watching people thinking, are they going to edit this? Are they going to blur out his face? They didn't. They pushed and pushed and pushed. They showed the program. They didn't give us a warning for the N-word. You don't want a warning. So if you're going to watch a show, you know what happened. This is a good time to sit down and talk to your children and go, the world has changed. We're speaking to them about the virus right now. Now we're speaking to them about protests because the world has changed. And guess what? We've got to get used to it. Some things that are going to come out, we're going to cancel it. You're going to try to cancel us. We're going to try to cancel you. The war is on. There is a war that's coming, guys. And it might not be the war that we want, but people are going to hold up resistance as, you're going to put up a resistance. We're not going to back down this time because right now we are fighting for what is right. And what we're asking you is, why don't you think that that's right? What is it? What is wrong that we die in public and you want us to get over it? Your history is going to get interrupted because the truth is about to come and we're ready for it. We are all ready for it. And that doesn't mean that we have to get scared or people have to get scared. That means the conversation has to be had.
Yeah, but
it's not going away.
It does cost money. When I decided with my brave self to go up on the BBC, the number of people who phoned me to say, well, listen, Ed, Curtis has already alluded to it, Angie, in regards to John Boyega. How's he going to eat if he's...
Because somebody comes to defend.
There's what he's going to say.
Somebody's coming to defend. People, we're in position of power.
Colin Kaepernick.
But yes, Eddie, we are in a position of power. How many people jumped up for John Boyega and said, listen, don't worry, mate, I'm running the networks here. Don't worry, I can give you a film. Listen, we just got Tyler Perry's Billionaire. We got position of power. So the minute they cancel you, we can come back and say, don't worry, we've got you. So someone like Alicia Dixon, what we needed to have is a position where we have a network.
We've got a little problem. I'm sorry. I'm going to let the because we're getting excited. I think the thing is struggling to keep up right with us. But look, last week I was like, wagwan for those people watching this podcast. It's like, I need your comments. I need to know what you think. Are we hitting it wrong? I'm not even getting let Angie talk anymore. You know, Curtis, shut up. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about cancel culture. Tell me what you think about that dance. Was it the right place for it? Did you watch it? Did you enjoy it? The 15,500 people that have come forward and complained is the second most complained about thing ever. What's driving that? What is driving it? I want to know. And before we find out about Marcus Rashford and the thing that just got me so vexed this week, let's hear from the boss.
Hello, good afternoon, Ace team.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hey, fantastic in your t-shirt.
Got my
Does she think she's in? Because
Thank
we can't
you.
see her. I can't see her. Can you see me,
Looking
Boss
good.
Tony?
They can see me because I've said yes. Hey.
That's lovely.
Good afternoon to all the listeners. Thank you for your comments. Keep them coming in. Hope you're having a lovely afternoon. Donald Henry has said, all I know, I don't understand what was so bad about the diversity video. It was amazing and inspirational. Marilyn Devonish says, I think those who thought it was powerful should also write to Ofcom. And I can see that there's a lot of people asking for the link to that so that we can counteract the complaint. So if someone can post that up on the line, that would be fantastic. Rosie says the complaints are from people who are uncomfortable seeing positive blackness on TV. It goes to show racism is very much alive in the UK. And Marilyn says, did anyone put a warning on the murder of George Floyd and the countless other real life atrocities as they streamed on media? And I think that's something that Angie was saying. And Jill Nichols, our previous sponsor from Travel Counsellors. Hello, Jill. She says, I've definitely changed. I used to be mildly concerned that being outspoken might affect my business. I don't care anymore. I'm going to speak the truth, which is why we need to go and support her. Just want to say, keep the messages coming in. Don't forget to like, hashtag and share. Also, most of us are wearing our T-shirts.
All of us except Angie.
Yeah. Well, she's explained. $17.99. It's on the link. Please go and buy the T-shirts. I think we're halfway through on the GoFundMe amount. Please, there's Eddie showing his one up there. And big up to our sponsor, Bajacom Blessings. They design flags. Please support the cause. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Love the lipstick. Yeah.
Love the lipstick. You look like Kelly Holmes.
Bye-bye.
You're right, Eddie. Have you frozen?
I can't think what attracted me to her, actually.
Yes, you can.
I'm having a few problems. Let me just say, Lee has come in and talked to us about sponsorship. Lee, I'll be phoning you immediately this finishes because he says he can offer us some technical help too.
You and you're freezing today.
So,
have you had your Wi-Fi checked out?
But I'm struggling, so I might have to go into the main office in a little while.
You all right, Eddie? Technically, no. And I just want to make it clear that I did offer to drop off Angie's T-shirt to her home.
No, you
I
didn't.
said, where, when, let me know. And she phoned me at 8 o'clock in the evening to say she's coming to Brixton. I was out. Okay? Just to clarify, Angie.
Rubbish.
Nice T-shirt. I don't know why you didn't invest.
You know what? I'm not even doing that with you, Curtis, because I can't believe I trusted you. I trusted you.
While we have this opportunity.
He's back.
Oh.
You haven't got any opportunity to do anything.
Oh, damn you, man.
Thank God you're back.
I've lost my notes, but it doesn't matter.
It's all right. I didn't know you were using
I'm not going to tell you about how many pins, clothes pegs Mrs. Nestor has at the back of her no joke T-shirt.
Oh, bless her.
And it's a size 4. Once I could get her to start eating meat and forget this vegan foolishness, then you know, is that not right? Is that the wrong thing to say? No.
Leave her alone.
We're going to thanks for your patience, by the way. Sorry about this. I do want to get the Marcus Rashford tweet up. So let me tell you the story before we put it up. Let me tell you the story, okay? So Marcus Rashford is a young footballer. He's a king. With Stormzy, the kind of young man that you would be proud to have as your child. The guy who is a millionaire who comes from an incredibly poor upbringing, but doesn't just go off and do stuff like maybe a couple of the youngsters did when they were in Iceland earlier this week. He talked about being a kid who was on coupons, and he got the government to change their mind in relation to what they were doing with free school meals. He's now working with the food industry to get them to help children who, in these tough times, of course, are suffering. He got involved with an MP which was just on the right side of racist for me, which was basically saying it should be, the MP was saying it should be a parent's responsibility to feed their children. Now, I say just on the right side because you know what he's saying, but he ain't saying it, so you have to deal with it, right? Marcus sends a message back and says, I've met lots and lots of families, and I have never yet met any parent who doesn't want to feed his child. Then this happened. A guy called David Vance, who's a failed politician, who I am ashamed to say I've spoken to many times on my radio program. Hello, Marcus Rashford. Sadly, there is a disproportionate problem within the UK African Caribbean community of black men abandoning their pregnant girlfriends never to be seen again. In order to understand your comment below, can you confirm whether you have ever met your father? Now, it first came to my attention with somebody who I think Angie might know her better than Curtis, white actress actually, called Kathy Burke, who described David Vance in words that we would never use. And then when I looked at the trailer, I just said, I don't know that I've ever seen something so blatantly racist in these times. And obviously his account has been suspended. But help me, Curtis, what go on for this product? Because there is a guy trying to feed children. He said, I'm just feeding black children.
And you know, sorry, Eddie, yeah, that's the point, isn't it? Marcus Rashford is talking about a community, a society. He never once mentioned creed or color. Never did. Just hungry children.
Yeah.
But where the MP goes with that, I found so infuriating.
Well, no, David Vance is not an MP. He was attempting
a failed
to be
MP.
He's
I like how you put it,
right?
a failed MP who is angry and bitter at something. But the racist attitude of that tweet there, my word.
It got me.
I'm dumbfounded why you would go there.
Angie,
all Marcus Rashford is trying to do is help to improve society. Yeah, you're tired of seeing children. When we were younger, we had something called free meals, where children used to get a token at the beginning of the day, and they'd go and get. Yeah, I know, Eddie. I didn't want to hot you up, but I know But get a meal. That's all he's trying to do.
But the thing is, we have to start to look out for people like this. You know, they're going to be coming and they're going to be very blatant because, once upon a time when someone said you're racist, it was an absolute insult and people felt really offended to be called racist. Now, people will say things and you call them a racist and they say, well, if that's what I feel, then I'm a racist. Yeah. And so they're hiding under that reaction.
No, he wasn't hiding, Angie.
No, but it goes back to what Angie was saying earlier. Angie was saying earlier that there's a change. So they're not. I prefer it like this. I know it might sound sadistic and crazy, but I like to know where my racists are. I really do. And I know it's gonna controversial or whatever, but I've spent most of my life being surrounded by racists, pretending they are not racist. And then I leave a situation thinking, oh, maybe I misread that. Maybe that was me. I got that wrong. Maybe they didn't mean it like that when they said that. I've got to tell you a little bit of a thing.
No, I'll let you tell it in a minute, but I interrupted Angie, and I just needed to get that, and then I'll
come back. No, she sat back. She was cool. You can always tell when I did cool. Look how
she's working at. Can you not see her head go from side to side?
No, she was cool with that interruption.
That's her working at.
You have to start the interruption with Angie was right when she said. Once you start with that, she'll let you talk forever.
Go ahead. Both of you shut up, really, just shut up and just try to listen and learn something. The truth of what I'm saying is that he felt, and this is what I'm trying to explain, he felt comfortable responding like that, even if they're being cancelled. So you've got to be very aware and alert for the reaction of people with their racism and their undertone, deliberate. So we're giving them publicity. We're talking about them now because they're absolutely saying the thing that they know is going to get us. And we have to be very careful of those people because they're not important. They're absolutely not important, and we can't keep giving them the air.
You've got to close
because
him
they're
down,
enjoying.
Angie.
You're
Never going to
closing
speak
them.
like that
It's been
around me.
cancelled. Of course, it's not. Because
Not
you're
around
going to
me.
write some emails and you're going to go higher up. But you know, the fact of the matter is, he is cancelled on Twitter. Let them handle their people. Let them handle their business. Let the guy doing what he's doing continue
But
to do it
going
over
back
there
to
in
what
the
Eddie
dark.
was saying earlier, Eddie's had him on his show more than once, you know.
A lot.
Yes, because they're going to
So
come
here's my
out.
question. So I
They're
want
gonna
to
come-
ask you a question.
He
right?
was always that
So-
person, but he was hiding.
When I get frustrated with you two, and when I get frustrated with the show, is that I personally think that sometimes we spend our life telling white people that we're not a homogenous lump, and then we spend time telling each other that if you don't believe this, then you can't properly be black. So for me personally, as a person who likes to talk and talks for a living, I want to hear different views. I want to hear how your life experience, even it's not only governed by your color. So when you're talking about Sean Bailey running as a Conservative candidate for Mayor of London, when you're talking about things, I personally like that because it challenges my idea of what you are, Angie, what you are, Curtis. I think that I need your help because in the really early days, years and years ago, I used to have Katie Hopkins on. Until one day she said something like, oh, if you've got a child and her name is Beyonce or somebody who names their child after country. And then I looked into it and I said to her, isn't one of your children called India? And then I realized that this woman doesn't actually know what she's talking about. She's doing what Jim Davison is doing now. They want to stay relevant to feed a constituent of people who are as stupid as they are. And so they say the most, and in that, you just go further. David went further and further to the right to the point where he revealed himself. But that doesn't mean, Angie, I mustn't interview people on the right, does it?
No, it doesn't mean that because they're not going to show you themselves. Nobody's going to really show you themselves. You have to kind of, and it's not your fault. You can't go around looking. When they do see things, and we do see things in people that we kind of go, you know what? I'm picking up that tone. I'm picking up where that's coming from. And then you realize that later on they've let themselves out the bag. When they let themselves out the bag, let them go. You see, the biggest thing right now is that we are being distracted by so many of these people who are getting our attention because they know it's deliberate for them to say certain things to upset us, and then we jump on it. If we don't start building where we're going and working out what our plan B is, we're going to be left fighting them whilst they go and get the thing that we could be building for ourselves. Okay. You know, racism is
and
not,
it wasn't about you, Eddie. That really wasn't. When I said about you've interviewed them more than once, I want them to get interviewed. I want you to engage with them because that's how we highlight, that's how we show. It's only thing is, you're like I've always maintained, you're a very articulate man. The where it falls down for me is when they have shows and it's like, I don't know, question time. And the representative who I feel should be representing me is not articulate enough to combat the other side, as it were. So I want you to have those debates. I want every racist to have the opportunity to be what they want to be. But I want the person in what I presume is my camp and my side and speaking on something I feel passionate about to be articulate. That's all. That's all. So
Angie's not having it. But that's what's brilliant, isn't it?
Pay them their wages because you can't stop that. But let them speak their truth. Because it's important we're all allowed to speak our truth.
Angie, can you control what people think?
You can't control what people think, but there is a line where you can't say it. That's the line. What people think and feel is going to be what they think and feel. But until you say it, I don't know that. But what I'm not going to do is sit down and wait for you to let me know who you are. I know who you are. We've got enough evidence. People don't have to say who they are. Show me who you are and I'll tell you who you are. Why are we sitting here waiting? If somebody drags their bag when they're in the car, you're walking past them and you're a young black boy, you don't look at it and think, I wonder what they're thinking. They didn't have to say a word. You show me. They've been showing us. And so what are we waiting for them to scream it out as opposed to making a plan for ourselves so that we can go and do for self?
You all right?
I don't need
Are
no
you
racist
all right?
to tell me how they are.
Are you all right?
Listen, don't patronize me. I'm
Yeah, he
See,
keeps
see
doing
what I
that.
mean?
Why?
I'm actually
Why
fine.
do you think I'm patronizing you?
Because you keep saying, "Are you all right?" Of course I'm all right.
I'm different to you, and
of
I
course-
want them to speak.
No, because I didn't say they mustn't speak, but I'm not going to sit there and wait for them to show me who they are because I've done saw who they were. They've been showing us. What is your history book telling you? Why are we keep being surprised? We can't be surprised by the reaction, by everything that they say. Oh,
I
he's
don't
upset.
think we're surprised, Angie. It's just that where it surprised me is because Rashford was doing something so positive. And I don't understand why you've attacked a guy doing something so positive. Why you've chosen to bring race into it. And Rashford didn't bring race into it. He brought young children into it. I want to help young children eat. And for that, you're going to vilify, you're going to attack. I don't, that's where it.
Are you that upset?
Yeah. I was that
patronize
upset. When I read the tweet, I was like,
hold
what
on a
the
minute.
hell is this?
Angie,
What do you have
I'm
to do
the
in this
only
society
who
to get a little
patronises people on
respect
the show.
as a black person?
Guys,
What do you have to do?
One at a time.
You see, the funny thing is that all of us do it to each other. It's brilliant. I love it. This is like food therapy for me. I love it.
All I'm saying, Eddie, is if we're gonna keep being upset by what they are doing, we're going to be distracted and be in a hurt place. We can't be not expecting it. We have to have other things on our mind by supporting what he's doing and getting behind him, supporting Alicia Dixon and getting behind them. That's how we combat this madness.
I hope that we're doing this by providing a platform for conversation, for doing as real as we would do it. We would do a thing where we have 15 seconds to talk, but in real life we talk over each other and you earn your position to speak. So if you're not used to this kind of speaking, I don't apologize at all. You better get used to the rhythm of it. Let's move to this, shall we? Because Angie makes a point.
Eddie, could we hear from the boss, Eddie? You're really breaking up a lot, my brother. There's something wrong with your Wi-Fi today, and I don't know what it is. Is there anywhere you could move or get another angle?
Let me show you where the boss is. Let me show you where the boss is.
Oh, is this the boss, the same seat?
She's on his lap.
Oh, I see. It must be just your face. It's just today, Eddie. But let's soldier through. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, if you let him.
It's important that you know, Curtis, that I've never liked you. It's really important to me that I tell you straight. I've never, ever liked you. So you talk about people,
my brother,
revealing who they are, right? One of the people who, if I say Pickaninny smiles, Pickaninnies with watermelon smiles. If I say letterboxes, bank robbers, I'm guessing you know that this is the person who's won the election by 80 seats. This week he changed the rules. So from tomorrow, there's something called a rule of 6. Now, there are lots of messages going on around vaccinations, taking your children and making sure that, you know, people of color are not being used as some sort of guinea pig when it comes to that. I'll get a view from both of you in a minute, but you know me, I'm trying to work out why 6. Yeah. Why do we have I knew you were going to go there. Why do we have the rule of 6? So I went to where you go to find out about people. Where I went to find out about you, Curtis, and you, Angie, I went to Wikipedia. Look at what Wikipedia says about our Prime Minister. Right, you ready? Let's go. Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson, British political author, previous Prime Minister Theresa May, children at least 6. The idea that you got British Prime Minister and nobody can tell you how many children. Curtis, you know how many children you got?
It's a mystery. Yes, we know.
Angie, you know how many children you got?
3.
Prime Minister doesn't know.
At least 6.
All right, so let's start with you, Angie. What was that story? I think I put it in the group. It came in under embargo. We were like, wow. I think in Belgium, and this might be the next step actually, in Belgium, they've gone for, you can't come out of your house after 10 o'clock at night. There's a curfew. Tomorrow's a big day. People are raving tonight and last night, like, you know what I mean? They've got to go back to work on Monday. Your thoughts on it, please?
We can all really look back and say we have to really look after ourselves right now, because we have no idea where the leadership is coming from or what they want us to do and how they want us to do it, because we haven't got no end goal. We are doing this because in 6 weeks we've worked out that we would have brought the numbers down by this. They are really trying to work out what they're doing, and they're making a big mess of it, and people are just not adhering to it anymore. Yes, these young people are having their parties and they're making sure they have a good time tonight, but they're going to get fined £10,000 from tomorrow. They're really going for them hard. And I just think that we have to really look after ourselves, because this virus is coming back big. And as the winter months come in, it's going to be even worse. And they're not telling us that because they're scared to panic us. But just so that we understand it, for our own people's sake and understanding, look after yourself, protect yourself, because this government is making a mess. They're sending the kids to school, the teachers have got COVID, and they're sending the kids back and bringing it back to the home. They're not showing you those statistics. But only if you have people who are working in those areas are you starting to find out what's really going on. And from the hospital point of view, it is changing. They're just not telling us the stories. And I don't trust him. He's a dangerous man because he's incompetent.
Yeah.
Curtis, the little one, the one who ran in when we were doing the pod the other day, he's got a fever and he's got a cough. Now, I'm confident it's not, whatever, and I'm sure he'll be all right. He must have just had some, I think he ate his mum's vegan food or something like that. But the flu season is coming, and there are going to be a lot of people worried, because how do you tell the difference between a cough, the flu, a cold, and COVID? Are you as fearful as Angie?
I think I am. I've always been throughout the lockdown, as we've spoken on many times. When you have an older generation in the home, it makes you a lot more vigilant about protecting them. And it's really got to be. So I'm finding myself over protective of myself.
I noticed that with you and Robbie last week.
Relaxing, it's a hard place to be. In a society that's relaxing, it's hard because you're the one with the mask in a room with people without masks, and you're like, oh, okay, this is me then. Now I've got an issue. But where it is, as Angie said, confusing is you're going back to school. You must take your children to school. These are the messages we're getting. You're allowed to go to the pub. You're allowed to go to the shops. You're allowed to go everywhere else. But you're only allowed 6 of you now. It's let's be seen to be doing something. Let's be seen to be being in control of this. And we know they've made a mockery of it. If you're saying that there's Belgium going to lock down, you cannot leave your house after a certain time, I think that's the state it has to get to here. I don't think you can think economics and health.
But I can go. There's a football match trialing out with 1,000 people. You can go on public transport, the tube, practically rubbing up against people you don't know. You can go to the pub. You can still go to the restaurant, but you can't have more than 6 people in your house.
That's the mixed messages we're getting, and that's why, as Angie said, people are confused. People are going, well, whatever. Let's just go. And if you're young and getting blamed for it, which I thought was a cheap shot. In regards of you're young, that's the whole point of being young.
Don't kill your granny.
Don't kill granny. Can you imagine what harsh message to give out to young people? You know what I mean? I just think as we've said, Boris, who might have at least 6 children, is not a leader of people. He's just not, never has been. I remember when he became mayor of London, I was in Jamaica at the time, and I thought it was a joke, a mistake, and it proved to be a reality. Not only that, a second term as well.
Is he doing any worse than Sadiq is doing? Have you seen? Have you tried the low traffic
Sadiq doesn't have a governmental support. Boris had the government support. Sadiq isn't going to get that. So that's why in my area they're closing roads and doing all manner of foolishness that you cannot even drive through London anymore in a relaxed kind of way. It is.
That's right,
totally confusing. They have a budget. I'm assuming most councils have a budget that they've got to use because every road is being dug up throughout London at the same time. They're closing bridges like they're trying to build it like you cannot get across. And you love to come south. I don't think you'll be able to do that anymore. with all the bridges that are being closed. I don't understand why everything's being done at one time.
I know what
They had
they're
an
doing.
opportunity during lockdown to achieve those things. They waited till the lockdown was released to start digging up holes and making a mockery of it.
This is all
Sadiq
about
Khan is
control.
finished. He's finished because he's going to get the blame for all of this London madness that is coming down from government.
This is all about control. It's all about control. They've seen how much of us they can control at one time, and this virus is allowing them to practice a lot of things. We ain't seen nothing yet. These people are wicked.
And they're using the pandemic, which I think is evil in itself, while people are at their most fearful. They're using that opportunity to change things. You wake up outside your house. Back in 2 months ago, people woke up to seeing a G5 thing sitting in their garden or on their road. I woke up or came out of lockdown to find I couldn't drive down Relton Road anymore because they've got a picture of a little girl called whatever her name was. Oh, poor Amy. Hey, we're saving the road for Amy. And they've got a picture of a young, a toddler, white toddler. Oh, save the planet for her. But yet they're pushing the traffic through Loughborough where Khadijah. They don't care about Khadijah's lungs. Why are you just pushing it out? Sorry. Hello, Lise.
Hello. Sorry.
Welcome back, Mother.
Thank you very much. Just here to read some of the messages in the chat room. And that says, how is he, referring to David Vance, how is he allowed to say that and yet diversity is being complained about? I'm astonished and angry. Someone has said Marcus is not only talented, but a humanitarian in its true sense. What he's doing is similar to what the Black Panthers did to support their community and were vilified. Sheba says overt racists aren't the problem. Racists who don't know they are racist are the dangerous ones. Yvette Shillingford says Vance should ask Boris's children the same question.
Exactly.
Marcus.
I was thinking the same thing. What if everybody's ever asked them, have you met your father? Do you know your father? Yeah, I see him on telly. Yeah, right.
Definitely. And Rachel Francis has said, yes, please be OCD about COVID. It does kill. I thought that was a good one. Please keep your messages coming in. Don't forget to like hashtag and share. Don't forget to buy the t-shirts. Okay. $17.99. Links in the bio. Don't forget. Angie will have hers on next week, I'm sure. Yes, don't forget the GoFundMe link. We're about 50% to our target. And big up Bajake and Blessings who do the flags. And apparently we want to know what your favorite sweets are, Curtis.
I'm not playing this game again. Last time I played this game last week, I ended up with Elvis Presley, and you lot are going to say Ferrero Rocher or something and blow it out the water. No, I'm not playing. Go Angie first.
Okay, Angie, what's your favorite sweets?
Just chocolate, really. Chocolate. That's my
When I was a child, it was cola cubes and pineapple chunks?
Pineapple. The pineapple. You know the pineapple sweets when we were younger?
I just said that. You said chocolate.
You said chunks.
You can't change it.
Eddie?
My favorite who I wanted to be when I was younger was Muhammad Ali. I didn't want to be Elvis.
Elvis, yeah, you
can't change it now. You can't change it. We all can hear. Eddie, what's your favorite sweet? Oh, are we still doing the questions?
I don't one for the money, two for the show. Three to get ready now, go. Okay.
There's a lot of bad feeling. We've got 4 executive producers. You know, you got Fletch, you got Ord, and you got Crispin and Robbie. Well, I don't know. They just phoned me after the show and tell me what they liked and what they hated. And Robbie was furious with you, Angie, and also with the boss because Curtis revealed himself. When I was a little boy, I wanted to be Elvis. You come out with Whoopi, and the boss lady come out with somebody who's younger than her.
Right? How can that be possible? How can that be possible? You want to be Whoopi Goldberg at 7 years old? Huh? Whoopi was 4.
You never played that game proper, Angie. We try this one. Oh, I was asking about old time sweets because I found some eardrops the other day, and I sucked that thing. You ever have a gobstopper, Angie?
No, I used to like the pears, the big ones, yeah. If that helps the moment in the show.
Hey, a little
I went to
relief.
ask if she's ever had a good supper.
You know
See,
what?
you
What
tried
time
to
is
take
it
the show,
finished?
and it. She just come from church. Don't do that, Curtis. All right, listen. Let's end, shall we? Because Curtis is getting Angie vexed, and I can feel it. Right, Angie, why were you crying this week?
Was I crying? When did you see me crying?
You told me you're crying.
No, I said, oh, my mum. My mum's gone back to Jamaica.
Ellie.
Go back to Jamaica. I was very sad.
Well,
But
she was skipping
when I woke,
out the house up them stairs. How are
when
you
I
crying
woke
and
up,
she's happy?
when I woke her up and said, "Mum, wake up," she went, "Morning."
I'm free.
I'm going home. And she was not holding back. Even when we went to the airport, she was like, everything's going to go through. She was overweight at £215 we had to pay. And my mum looked over at us like, it's £215. I said, we knew this. We knew this.
Wow.
And then she's gone home. She phoned me and she said, I'm so happy going out on the veranda now. She's happy. And I'm glad that she's in Jamaica because that's where she wants to be. Got a house, got a land. She can self-isolate. So just for me to go now.
Bravo.
Is there a place, Curtis, that you regard as your kind of spiritual home? Is that too deep? I mean, I feel old this week because of Mo and them.
I've got a spot. If you pose the question, let me answer. I've got a spot. It's a gully in Jamaica, and just down from the house, you go down. Not a lot of people go down there, but you have to be fit and young. So I go down the gully, and the world kind of disappears. It's the silence that I've never heard anywhere else in the world. It just, as the deeper you go into the gully, the silence just gets so overwhelming.
You heard
and
silence.
a fallen coconut tree down the bottom there, and I just sit down on there and I ponder and I forgive you for everything, Eddie. And I meditate on those words. I chant your name and please, Lord, help him. As in Angie praying for you today, I've been doing that for you for years. I chant you now to pray, help him. But that's my go-to spot. And it might take me a year to reach there again or whenever, but when I get there, the troubles of the world just disappear. I find that Zen moment, that stillness that we all kind of need.
You know what? Jamaica, but I had gone to Ghana. When I went to Ghana, normally when I go to Jamaica, I feel really relaxed. I feel at home. But when I went back to Ghana, I felt like I had come home, like I had never experienced. Spiritually, I just thought, I'm from here. Then I kept seeing the shape of my dad's head and my uncle's head just got through Ghana. Then I had my bloodline chase back to Ghana. So when I found out that, I thought, you know what? I'm going to go buy land in Ghana, build a house over there for it to be my home after Jamaica so that I can go and move around. Because it's time for us to invest in our motherland, invest. We don't need to be having discussions about how they feel about us. We should be building somewhere else to move forward so we can sit back on our gazebo and go, yeah.
I don't know if we're feeling like how they feel about us, you know. It's a journey of how I feel about me and how I want to be treated. And it's important that I come at people with my honesty, my truth, rather than historically worrying about other people's feelings, you know? Historically worrying about, and I mean anybody's feelings, regardless of race or color, anybody's feelings.
I've been saying that from the
yourself
beginning.
first is important sometimes, you know?
Putting yourself in the focus and being understanding that what other people are going to do, you have to control yourself and be able to move yourself forward and build for a better place for you. That's what I've been saying. Not caring about them. It's not about them. It's about us.
Sometimes, one day when we do this pod, I'm going to ask you. I don't want you to answer it today, even though I know you're going to try to. Who they are, because the way that this world is, the way that families have become blended, I don't know that there is a them, unless you're talking about class, which is some.
He's up. Your time's up, my brother.
Angie, what did you pray on today? What did you say at church today, Angie?
He would come back.
Oh,
I don't know. Angie's put some whatever.
Don't blame it on me. Blame it on your six. Blame it on the six.
Honestly, I'm going to phone you in a minute, mate. So you better get ready. Stormzy, I mean, I don't have a picture of him, but have a look at that new cartoon.
Oh wow!
Oh
Big
my God.
ups to
I mean,
him.
it's like, wow,
It's just
wow.
honest.
And these people, and I know lots of people watch this because they come and tell me, who are frightened about showing who you really are for fear of offending somebody's sensibilities or whatever. That Monday's bigger than you're ever gonna be. Stormzy's the biggest black or white. AJ's the biggest black or white. You look at
Right.
Hamilton, the biggest black or white. If you're looking at what that young woman is doing over in America in the
Tell me.
Arthur Ashe statement, that's what Sarkis did. Naomi's just every day she comes in with a different victim. And I'm so proud of those young people. And the reason I'm making that point as a theme of our show today is because so much of what we talk about and I've done it myself in terms of young people is as a pejorative, as a negative, as a whatever. And when they do and they lead us, they show us. I just have to say that Marcus Rashford, Storms, you are kings. You are absolute kings, and I salute you. Look, I just want to do this right because time is finished, but there are a number of stories that got sent to me this weekend that we can't do all of them, but this Tooting Markin story is really interesting with Huey. I think it's been sorted now about the kind of gentrification of that place, but we're going to get him on. I'm going to reach out to him because I think he can talk to us about particular men's health subjects that I've wanted Curtis to talk about. Certainly one of them that you headed up a few years ago. So I'm going to reach out to him. So the 150 people who have sent me that video and they said, please stop now. I've got it. Yeah, we got this.
But also to mention as well, that's people power. You know, the fact that we were going to go and boycott Tooting Market because these two brothers who are doing their business, nothing about them was wrong, and yet everybody came against them to try and shut them down. And we said, no, you're not doing that. That's where I think the people's power is. Just standing up and saying, you're not going to do that. You don't get to do that because we're going to do this.
Yeah, and I've got to say, I feel so proud of both of you and the show and the boss because whether it be the N word, whether it be this thing, whatever it is, people listen, they work together. I think that, in the freedom that we've shown in the show, people feel free to, I don't know, to show how they feel, to say how they feel about particular things. And this kind of moan to each other type of mentality is out of the window. There's no point. Mobilize, talk, make your feelings known, because if they don't know or people don't know how you feel, then they can't do anything. I have never received a video as much as I received that Tooting video. It was astonishing how much and how many people were like,
and a big shout out to Donna Spence.
Yeah, she did brilliant. Well done, Donna. Sorry.
Well done, Donna.
Well done, Donna.
Well done. Well done. We salute you. What a lovely place. Curtis, I think you get a bit excitable in this, and I think you just need to consider your position and just calm down a bit. Is that all right, my brother?
Yes, my brother. It's all good.
I wish I could be like you. Next week, I'll have started my... Curtis, will you do it with me?
Yes,
Angie,
sir. I'm starting on Monday, though.
No, you don't
Sorry,
know what I'm going to say.
explain to the viewers.
3 things. So I've been challenged by the boss to take out my 3 things, and I'm working at... I'm such a sweet tooth. Chocolate, sweet, fizzy drink, bread, caffeine. So I've got to take out 3 of those for the next 30 days. So I challenge you people watching, listening at home to join. Curtis, are you in?
Yes, I'm in. Long as it's not alcohol, I'm in.
Okay, I'm going to go in because I'm on a new health journey right now. So I'm going to come in on that. I'm going to take out the chocolate. What's the other one?
No, well, I don't know what you're guilty, but you tell us. You're making it.
Well, I'm taking that
chocolate. Chocolate and who?
I'm taking that chocolate.
3 things,
bread.
Actually. Not chocolate and chocolate.
Bread
3 things.
And rice. Jesus.
No, rice.
I'm not going to survive.
No,
I'll check out the chocolate.
Right. No,
okay, Angie, 3.
All right, chocolate, that. All right, 3 things.
Curtis, thank you so much. Angie, I'm sorry. We'll be back here next week. God bless you both. Look after yourself. Yeah, love to you. And all you people watching at home. Thank you so much. It's a roller coaster through the show. We get annoyed with each other, but it's all through love, and hopefully we can inspire conversation, have some debate with you. But that last bit that Angie was talking about there, where you see something happening that is an injustice, work together and you can get it changed. And I think it works. So we'll be back here next week. We do have a GoFundMe page. We're doing okay, but we haven't reached a target yet. We'd like to keep it going. Lee, I'm going to phone you. Alison Bajakan, and what you're doing, thank you very much for your support. Next Sunday, I'm going to be back playing music before they ban people from playing music on Facebook. And on Tuesday, you can catch me on the Jeremy Vine Show. God bless you all. Thank you so much to the boss and all our executive producers. Special thanks to Stephanie Naya and to the media mafia Fiona. God bless you all. And next week, God spare our life, we'll be back here with hashtag no joke.